Hello and welcome to the lecture series on railways, harbour, tunneling and airport for the subject code 18CV645, module 3, session 4. In this session we are going to discuss about the wave and their action on the coastal structure, effect of waves on the coastal structure, coastal protection work, type of coastal protections work it is going to be done. Next is the references. Moving on to the first point, that is a wave and their action on the coastal structure. So, as we know that in the sea, the waves are going to be virtually superficial, which is going to be affecting only a certain layer or the surface layer of a water. So, it is been measured to a depth of 10 fathom, or it is going to be 1 fathom is 10.8 meter. So, that is 10 times of a fathom is going to be measured, so that we are going to be having its intensity. Wind which is been generating the waves may be either in the form of a local or it has been far distant, and there is a certain interaction it has been there with respect to atmosphere and surface of a sea. So, that is what wave and their action on the coastal structure is plays a very important role. So, type of a wave we are going to be having three types. One is the wave with oscillation, next is going to be the waves of translation, next is going to be the tidal waves. So, how we are going to be classifying the types of waves. So, next is going first one is the oscillation. So, waves of oscillation is going to be ordinary unbroken waves. So, that is an oscillation type of a wave. So, translation means when they enter to a shallow water, that is in the form of translation. Tidal means the frequency or the frequently it has been occur due to the result of earthquake or especially during in the seabed. So, those are called as tidal waves. So, these are the types of waves we are being concerned with respect to coastal structures. So, these waves in the actions are going to be formed depending upon the beach zoning, wave energy, wave action as it varies with respect to topography. So, beach zone means try to look at the image here. So, it has been nomenclated. A is going to be upper zone and B is going to be the lower zone. So, when we are going to be having upper zone and a lower zone, so in between we are going to be having the certain point. So, when we are going to be said yes, so it means the point of separations between the two beaches has been concerned, that is a beach A or the upper zone and lower zone. So, this is depth of a S we are been measuring. So, then it is been having an inclination of theta angle, sorry. So, this theta angle or a phi angle is going to be a beach angle, as it is being measured with respect to the point of separations of a two line with respect to the crest or the wave. So, then C is a point where the crest or the highest point has been concerned. Then H is going to be the amplitude of a wave, how it is going to be there. So, this is how the beach zones we are going to be measuring it. Next is the wave energy. So, wave energy is going to be having two types. One is having in the form of a potential energy and secondly kinetic energy. When a wave form to when a wave is going to be formed from a deep sea, as it reaches to a shallow water, its characteristics are going to be get modified. So, when the wave height increases, its velocity decreases. Hence, a wave becomes unstable and it is going to be breakers. So, this broken waters further runs in the forward and finally get dissipated. So, this cycle is going to be in the successive nature, as we know that in the nature. So, this wave height increases and started moving towards shores at a lower intensity. Thus, deep sea wave ends on the shallow shores is going to be tumult, and sometimes it is going to be broken and it start agitated by the water. So, that is the thing. So, only a steep sloping shores, the behavior of a deep sea waves is going to be getting modified with their energy, and it is going to be dissipated in different manners. Hence, in the deeper water, the wave energy is being dissipated in the beach. So, almost it is going to be momentarily, as the wave collapses, the momentarily it loses its wave energy. Next is a wave action. As we know that depends upon the topography and geographical features of a beach. So, the effect of a wave actions are going to be varied. So, that is the condition. So, adjacent area, topography and geographical features is going to be accountable. So, as we know that there is a waves, it is how it has been formed. So, it is going to be having its own effect. So, in this slide we are going to see the effect of waves on the coastal structures has been concerned. So, first one is the pattern of depositions or the erosion. It mainly depend upon the shape of the coastal structure. It means how the open or the entrance directions and wave it is being generated. So, it depends upon the erosion criteria. Next is the general shape of a coastal structure. It may be of a straight pier, or it going to be a return pier, or sometimes it is going to be double pier. So, likewise the waves having its own shapes with respect to the coastal structures, depending upon the structures how we are been providing it. So, depending upon the coastal structure, this wind incident waves also going to be having its effect over the structure. Next is going to be the depositions or erosion. So, it may be sometimes destabilize the coastal structure. Hence, effect of a wave with respect to correlation between its form of a waving, then the coastal structure. So, apart from that one, a pattern of depositions or the erosion has to be concerned in the coastal structure designing. So, most of the harbor is major problem is going to be the erosion or sometimes a deposition. This may going to be occur due to the lateral drift. That is wave action and its effect. So, apart from that one, as we know that due to this erosion or a deposition, harbor is going to be needs to be a dredge for its structural improvement. So, as it involves construction and extension of some coastal work like breakwater or groins, etc. Hence, while designing the coastal structure, a few of the following factors to be considered. So, that is harbor coast are going to be subjected to destructive action of a wave with respect to wind and also the tidal current. Hence, their wind and tidal current has to be concerned with respect to coastal protection work has been concerned. Next is, as we know that there might be of accumulations or erosion. So, these types are going to be caused against along the wave along the coast. Hence, the harbor has to be located in such a fashion that so there should be least disturbance or the least with respect to the erosion or accumulation of the silt. So, as we know that it will going to increase the life of the harbor has been concerned or the coastal structure. Next is the data on the characteristic of geomorphology and whatever the material if we are going to be use it for the construction. Next is going to be the tides and its nature. Next is the wind and its characteristics, the storms, waves, currents on the shorelining, and this detail is going to be by the bathymetry. Then the lateral drift and effect on the inlet. So, usually this data has going to be acquired for a minimum of 5 to 10 years to know the intensity of a wind, height of a tide, the occurrence and intensity of a storm, wave and its characteristics. All these are going to be important with respect to coastal protection work. So, that is going to be analyzed. So, the data is going to be analyzed so that there should be a subsequent inference and findings has to be provided for clear definitions of a problem. So, as it causes and what could be the possible solution or the treatment we can give it for the protection work has been concerned. So, this is how we studied in the what are the sea waves and what are the coastal protection work has to be concerned. why it is been important. So coastal protections work is going to be important to maintain the harbor area in for a long period of its operation, or to protect the vessels it is been inside our harbor area for the comfortable operation. Hence, we are going to be having different types of coastal protection works has been concerned. First is a seawall and a bulkhead has been first type of protection work. It has been provided. Next is going to be the revetment, groins, jetties, offshore breakwater and artificial beach nourishment. So these are all type of coastal structures we need to use it from the protection of an coastal. Moving on to the first type, that is a seawall and a bulkhead. These are going to be the structure which are constructed parallel to the shoreline, so which are going to be separated from the land area and also from the water area. Primary purpose of this is going to be of bulkhead. It is to be retained or to prevent the sliding of a land, so that it is going to be afford a protection to the back shoring. So whatever the damage it is going to be occurring on the seashore. The sea walls are going to be necessarily massive and expensive. Hence, the walls which has been constructed only where adjoining shore is going to be highly developed and the storm is going to be severe. So in such cases, we should provide a bulkhead and seawall. Seawall in essence, it is a retaining type of a wall. So earth pressure from the land side and the wave force on which is acting on the other face on the seawall has to be taken into consideration. So this is the image how we are been providing the coastal protection work with respect to sea walls has been concerned. So this is the backfill that is on the land side area. So on the sea side we are going to be having a rubble or the type, so where we are been providing to dissipate the energy of the wind and its intensity. So after that one, so this curvilinear path is going to be avoiding the overall impact and the sliding. So to have in a proper position, so these are going to be having a foundation, so it can be resulted with proper anchorages with respect to the pressure exerted from the land side and wind pressure, water pressure or the wave pressure exerted from the sea side. So hence foundations we are usually having a pile type or a group type or sheet piles we are been providing. So that is going to be called as a sea wall and bulkhead type of protection. So next this type we are going to be having a vertical wall type or a rubble mold type or a sloping wall type. So each of these are having its specific applications with respect to its function. So if it is going to be unusual function criteria, we can have a combinations of a vertical wall or a rubble or a sloping wall. So in the previous image I had shown you, so this is going to be a rubble, then this is going to be the piles, it has been provided, and it is a inclined wall we are been providing it. So that is a sloping wall, it may be convex or a concave. So hence these combinations are purely one type we can make use as the coastal protection work. So height of these cross walls are going to be such that there is water should not overtops it. So up to that height we should provide a protection work. So this is another type where we are been having a rubble mount type of a sea wall in Kanyakumari coast, that is in the Tamil Nadu. So try to observe it. So this is a seaside where we are having a mean sea level. So after that one we are going to be having a gradient 1 in 10 and 1 in 4. Then once again we are having a armor packing. Then core packing is going to be done on the land side, and this is on sea side. So minimum distance is going to be 18 meter length. So that is how we are been providing the rubble mount type of sea wall. So another type is going to be protection work. It is carried out in Royapuram beach in Chennai. So the where we are been providing, so armors wall, it is going to be weighing around 400 to 500 kg each is been put on the sea side. Then a core wall of 10 to 150 kgs of each block has been provided. to a 20 meter width. So where we are going to be having a bund which is going to be matching the level. So this is the type of protection work we are being providing. So as we know that the rubbles or the armor what is going to be placing the sea is because to dissipate the energy of an sea wave. So next is going to be the sheet pile type. It is been provided at the toe. So these are going to be constructed in order to prevent a long shore drifting. So in order to avoid that one, we are been using coastal protection work like sheet pile at the toe. So try to observe this image. So how we are going to be providing a minimum of 2 meter below the ground level. We are providing some anchors, and then we are been providing sheet pile having 0.3 meters of a thick. So over that one, it is been covered with a plastic filter or the cloth, so that there should not be puncturing with respect to the upper bound armor layer to the below lawn. So that is how we are providing another type, that is a sea wall with sheet piles has been concerned. So next is going to be the another type where we should protect from the littoral drift. So that is going to be known as armor dump at the toe. So previously we have been having a sheet pile at the toe. So in this case we have been having a armor dump, so that it will prevent from the littoral drift. So in this case also we have been having a grooves, and we have been a quarry run and thick armor, that is a 2.1 meters of a thick. Each is going to be having a approximately some 2000 kgs of a weight. So after that one we have been having a secondary layer as a filter. So sometimes both the sheet piles are armor dump, so that is in the sheet pile at the toe or the armor dump at the toe are going to be designed. So where we are going to be needed with respect to for the heavy construction has been concerned. So next is going to be the requirement of a seawall, how we are been protecting. So whatever the type of a seawall it is going to be constructed, it should offer some protection against the flooding at an anticipated risk. Cost of construction and maintenance should be at a minimal. Seawall should be conform to the landscape and ecological viewpoint. Then it should satisfy some of the legal requirements. So that is how the requirement of seawall is going to be taken into consideration. So next type of coastal protection work is called as a revetment. Revetments are going to be the arrangement to secure the stability of a slope at the shoreline. So sometimes riprap, that is a crushed stone or the side stones are going to be put on the angle, so that whatever the slope it is been provided, so it is going to be protected with respect to shore. So this image shows that each of the block are going to be at around 0.5 to 3 tons of a weight, or sometimes it is going to be having a 10 to 7.5 kg of a materials is going to be dumped, and it has been riprapped. So next method of a coastal protection work is going to be the groins. So groins are a strong low sea wall. It is been built at a right angle to the coastal line to reduce the shoreline erosion, so that it extends from the landward point to the sea for a sufficient distance. So such type of protections is called as a groins. So it is being provided at a desirable locations to stabilize the shoreline, to protect it from the controlling of littoral drift. Groins are going to be classified as permeable or impermeable, high or low, or fixed or adjustable. So they may be constructed by using any of the materials like timber, steel, stone, concrete, or combinations. So groins are going to be designed in order to trap the maximum volume of a material. However, design will create an impact over the adjacent beaches. Hence, functional design of determining the groins is going to be with respect to its length, spacing, height, and alignment. Also, the type of groins we are been using it. So that is about the groins has been concerned. So in these images we'll going to see how the groins are going to be constructed. So try to see that this is going to be actually the original and adjustment shores has been concerned, or a shoreline. So this is on the beach side. So groins are going to be adjusted to the shoreline of an ocean so that it can be protected. So this is how we can see the longshore transport has been concerned. So it is a general shoreline configuration with a single groin. Suppose if you are going to be a 2 or more type of a groins has to be provided. So try to observe it, the groins of this is going to be in the direction of net longshore transport. So or otherwise it is going to be taken with respect to original shore lining. So next is going to be the dimensioning, how we are going to be providing the groins. So it started increasing with respect to 300 meters, then increasing to 450 meters center to center. Next is going to be 500 meter exactly at the center. Then each is going to be distance is once again reduced to 300 meter. So as when you are going to be approaching towards the shoreline. So these are the minimum length for each of the distance we should provide it with respect to groins has been concerned. So this is a typical cross section. So try to see that on the top we are having a 4 meter width, and it is been having a different cores. So this core is going to be subsided by the filter layer at the bottom. So next type of coastal protection work is going to be the jetties. Jetties may be classified into two types. One is a solid type of a structure, next is a piled type. So moving on to the solid type of a structure, as it consisting of an enclosure, it has been formed from kind of a wall, or it has been filled with earth. Next is going to be piled or a open type of a jetty, where it is been perpendicular to the shoreline. Sometimes it is also located within the harbor or jetties which is been used for it. So next type is going to be the offshore type of a breakwater. In this we are going to be having two types of a offshore breakwater. One is called as an exposure type, second one is called as an submerged type. So in case of an exposure type of a breakwater, offshore is going to be detached from the breakwater, which is going to be having a remarkably effective as it measures from the shore defense. They are usually one of the mound type, it may be rubble mound or heap type or any of the type of a mound structure, it can use it. They are aligned parallel to the shore lining. They prevent destructive wave actions before reaching it to the shore, so it prevents the encroachment also. Offshore breakwaters are going to be somewhat expensive, so sometimes they will bring opposite effect also. So therefore they should be used after a good model study has been studied or it has been tested. So next type of an offshore of a breakwater is going to be a submerged type. So in the submerged offshore breakwater, so in combination with the seawall, it has been used along with the shoreline protection. Quantity of a overtopping wave will going to be used over the seawall. So it is an important parameter to be decided for the crest elevation. So overtopping will going to be resulted due to the flooding on the land area. So next is going to be the artificial beach nourishment. Basic concept is to satisfy the basic need of a material and its demand. They have all the characteristics as consistent to the natural beach. It increases the stability of a beach under the protection and also the adjacent shore due to the supply of a material through the longshore drifting. So materials for the nourishment is going to be taken. So that is with respect to artificial nourishment has been concerned. So few more protection work has to be concerned with the coastal. So this is with the natural calamity like construction of a retaining wall along the coast, afforestation along the coastal area, construction of a groins, coastal wall, and construction of with respect to the boulders. So these are all some of the protection work we have been concerned with. Natural calamities has been concerned. So by this we are going to be ending this session with a note what are the types of coastal protection work and how we are been providing, the types of a breakwater and how we are been using it with respect to the coastal structure. So, to design this one, we need to study the effect of wind and characteristic. So, those are covered in this session. So, once again, to prepare this session, we had used the STEM standard syllabus as it mentioned in the syllabus textbook has been concerned with respect to web references.